Bulls with the ball and a 2-point lead.
You don't foul now. You dig in and get a stop.
Here's Jordan. The Bulls 95, the Blazers 91. Drexler for 3. Kept alive by Kersey. And the foul is called. It's on Pippen. Chicago over the limit.
Portland never rotates over in time as Michael comes from the right side of the floor. It was an isolation created almost by happenstance. It was there. Michael took advantage of it, saw the opening, took it to the rim.
Michael Jordan coming on in the second half. He has 31. Portland is 19 for 19 from the line. Kersey on the line for the first time. Kersey, a 66% free throw shooter. Cliff Robinson checking in. Replacing Danny Ainge. 27 seconds to go in the fourth. The Bulls lead it by 3.
You have John Paxson boxing out Terry Porter outside the three-point line. You have Michael Jordan paying attention to Drexler so that Portland doesn't miss on purpose, and those guys come flying in. You must be 6 feet behind to give the shooter room as to where you can line up.
It's a 2-point Chicago lead. Pressure by the Blazers. Drexler playing with 5 fouls, going for the steal against Jordan. Now Jordan met by Porter. There's a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. And now the foul given by Porter.
See, they have no timeouts left, so it's not like they can advance the ball to the half-court line after it. So you go for the steal in the backcourt, and then once it gets over the 10-second line, you must foul so that you get a chance to at least come back and score. You hope that they miss their free throw opportunities.
Michael Jordan is 3 of 3 from the line. He's an 83% free throw shooter. 11 and 8/10 seconds to go in the fourth. The Bulls lead by 2. Chicago 96, Portland 93. The Blazers do not have any timeouts left.
Portland placing 2 players down the floor to try and get a quick hurry-up offense going after this free throw.
4-point Chicago lead. Drexler was checking, thought there might have been a timeout remaining. Here's Kersey for 3. Paxson with the rebound. Tide running down. The Chicago Bulls have won the NBA championship for the 2nd straight season. Chicago Bulls coming from behind. They were down by as many as 17, and they have defeated the Portland Trailblazers 97-93 to take the series in 6. The last team to win a title in Chicago, the 1963 Chicago Bears, who defeated the New York Giants. Chicago Stadium has not hosted a hometown clinching since back in 1938, when the Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Michael Jordan led the way with 33. Scottie Pippen had 26. 24 apiece for Clyde Drexler and Jerome Kersey. But the Bulls, with a sensational come-from-behind effort, are able to pull it out. We'll be back with the championship presentation in a moment.
Somewhere in the bedlam of the Chicago Bulls locker room, Bob Costas surrounded by the commissioner, Jerry Krause, the general manager, the principal owner, Jerry Reinsdorf. Get up here, Phil. Phil Jackson, the coach. Go ahead, commish, with the official presentation of the Larry O'Brien Trophy.
1 is great, 2 is almost impossible. Congratulations, Chicago. It was a great series and a great year.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner, a year ago, you gave us the first trophy. I can't believe a whole year has gone by. Last year was satisfying because a great general manager did a lot of things that weren't popular and we won. But this is even better because it establishes the Bulls as one of the upper echelon teams of all time. I can't tell you how happy I am.
Jerry, a quick comment on the team you helped to build.
Just the happiest moment in many, many years. Oh, it feels so good, buddy.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Let's turn to Coach Phil Jackson. Phil, is it possible to evaluate which of these 2 championships required more of your coaching skill?
No. These players last year took it on themselves. This year, everybody had to dig it out to win. And this game tonight was typical of a team comeback, and we had to play great team ball to win.
How about the lineup you went with during a stretch where you outscored them 14-2 with Michael on the bench? Williams and Hansen, and thank you very much.
All right, Rob. Yes, it was a lineup in which we just had to get some energy out there. We were tired. Our defense wasn't stepping up. We needed some energy from their kids, and they came out and really helped us go.
I'm sure you'd like to say something about the Trailblazers. Rick Alleman was upset about the notion that either the Bulls win or lose, but the Trailblazers are kind of their foils, and tonight the Trailblazers did themselves proud.
Oh, they're a great team. There's no doubt about their team effort. They played better on the road tonight than they did at home, and you got to give them a lot of credit for that, Bob.
All right, let's go over to Scottie Pippen, who is nearby. Scottie. Whoa. Gotcha. Hang on, Cliff. Scottie, there had been some criticism of you not playing up to last year's form. You were big in the 7th game against the Cavaliers. You were huge, especially in the 4th quarter tonight.
But I've been always able to bounce back, and I think my teammates is a big part of that because they've always been behind me and helped me, when the critics were down on me. That's why I really appreciate this championship now.
That's
to really get a lot of critics on my back.
Baby.
I still got a few more months of the Olympics to deal with it, but I just appreciate my teammates being able to step forward and help me out.
Yeah.
Horace Grant, the nucleus of this ball club is very young, averaging around 27. I know you're basking in the celebration here, but this team could be a very, very good team for a long time.
Oh, definitely. We're a very young team, and we have some young players on here. And we just went out and took it. Yes. Yes, baby. Woo.
Bobby, a big 3-pointer in the middle of the run, and then you stripped Kersey underneath. That was part of a run in which you were on the floor with some unlikely teammates in a 14-2 stretch.
That's what we prepared the whole year for, Bob, and we just hung together down 16, 17 points, and this guy carried us home, but we needed a little momentum shifter at that time. We got it with a 3-pointer, and it's great to be a part of it.
Michael, you told me the other night in Portland this one would be more relief. The other one was exhilaration. You still feel the same?
It is, man. It's just so gratifying for me personally. I went through a lot of hard times this year, but I stayed strong. Everybody supported me. And we played well today. I'm glad for Bobby Hansen. He was the only guy that didn't have it. I'm glad for him.
There were stretches in the playoffs where you had to carry your team. You were the high scorer again tonight, but you got help, especially from Scottie.
everybody contributed. Scotty was a real big emphasis in the third and fourth quarter, and I had a rough first half, but these guys carried us, and I was able to get in there in the fourth quarter and help pull it through. So it was a good team effort.
I think, Michael, we've got a package here of some of the baskets you scored down the stretch. From the time that Pippen's three tied it at 85, you and Scotty got all the points.
Yeah, we played well. It was a 1-2 combination all year long. And I've always said that, Scotty takes pressure off me as much as I take pressure off him. So, we played extremely well down the stretch, both of us. Here I was able to get a steal as Scotty blocked out Buck Williams and got the dunk, and, that put us up 2 points. So it was a good effort by everybody, I just tried to post up. I learned from the lesson when, game 4 when Drexler knocked that away from me. So I was prepared, and here I go to the hole, trying to get a foul or get a layup, So it was a good effort. I'm glad they gave me a chance to redeem myself.
And this is the free throw that seals it. What was going through your mind at this moment?
If I don't make these free throws, they're going to haunt me for the rest of my life. So I was really concentrating on it.
You started very slowly. I think you had 2 points in the first quarter, and the Trailblazers were all over you guys for 3 periods.
I know. I was going to be very passive and see how the other guys played early. But I got in a bad rhythm myself. And, they played extremely well defensively, and somehow we got it going. And once we got it going, there was no stopping us.
Did you have a chance to say anything to Drexler or he to you?
No, I was too elated. I'm going to go over and say hello. Say thank you. It was a great competition. It was tough luck, but somebody had to lose. I'm glad it was us.
Michael, congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking around for somebody else. Here's Bill Cartwright. Bill. A long career with ups and downs in it until you wind up in Chicago for a couple back-to-back. Can you put it in any kind of perspective?
Bob, we just had a great organization. We got players together. We kept building every year. Got the first championship. It was tougher the second time around to get the second championship. We came through with it with a tough effort. I got the win.
Bill, congratulations. John Paxson is somewhere in the vicinity, I'm told. Where's Johnny? B.J. Armstrong. B.J., slide on in here.
How you doing?
Tonight, you were part of that lineup that really turned the game around. I mean, Portland had a 17-point lead in the second half. And with Michael on the bench for a while, you were in there, Hanson was in there, Williams and some others, and that's when the 14-2 run happened.
Yeah, we did. We had a great run, and we just tried to get our energy up, get some easy transition buckets. It was just a great way to get us going, and I'm just very happy and fortunate to be a part of a championship ball club.
We're going to get John Paxson in here for a quick word. John, overall, this series wasn't looking like as good a series for you as the Laker championship a year ago until the last couple of games, and then you lit it up again.
Well, last year for me was tough to match personally, but winning another one after the only way I can explain it is when you try to repeat, everybody's coming at you. The only way you can really succeed is to win it again, or else you failed. And the way we played that fourth quarter, the entire effort from the defensive end to the offensive end was unbelievable.
Can you compare the two? You won 67 in the regular season. In that sense, you're better. You lost 7 in the playoffs this year. You breezed through with only 2 losses last year. Is there a comparison possible?
Well, this year I think it's better just because we had everybody shooting at us from day one. And to come out and win it the way we did was impressive. What a great way to win it.
John, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
From the locker room of the world champion Chicago Bulls, and Pat Riley, if you're watching, this is the look you were striving for last year. So there it is for you, pal. And let's go back to Marv at courtside.
All right, Bob, and most unusual situation here with the, I would say, a good portion of the crowd still on hand. This capacity crowd, for the most part, has not left. And I would think they're hoping that some of the Bulls players come back onto the court so they can shower their good feelings about them.
There's no question. The people are here waiting and hoping that the players will at least come up one more time. And, these fans are so good here in this building. They work so hard during the course of the season. It would be a nice gesture if the players feel safe enough to come up and do it.
Ahmad Rashad is trying to make his way to the Portland Trailblazer locker room, and we're told that Rick Adelman has closed the locker room. So if we're able to get some reaction from the Trailblazers, we'll bring it to you. But I know we will be signing off very shortly.
Well, I think that you talk about coaches having a feel for their basketball team. Phil Jackson tonight knew his starting unit was out of sync. He gambled. They were down 15 points. He went to that second group, and that second group, along with Scottie Pippen, got it going. Then at the right times, Jordan and Pippen take back over down the stretch for Chicago. Timing, substitutions, and then all the guys responding to the challenge. A terrific team effort for Chicago.
And we're told the Portland locker room is still closed, so apparently we will not be able to get post-game reaction from the Trailblazers. And we can look for impact changes, I would think, next year by Portland.
Well, you won't find that out, obviously, until they get together and decide what their problems were. But this team has reached the finals 2 out of the last 3 years. They played an excellent game this evening, playing very well away from home, as they did in the first 2 games. Half the first game, the entire second game where they got to win. Do you shake a team up just because you get to the finals and lose? That's a real difficult decision.
All right, Chicago takes the series in 6. Michael Jordan started slowly and then came out of the fourth quarter. In fact, Jordan with 12 of Chicago's last 19 points, as Chicago hit 13 of 19 overall from the floor in the fourth quarter. And we're told they are bringing the championship trophy to the floor, and when the trophy makes its way out here, they will go wild. The Chicago Bulls winning the NBA championship for a second straight season. For all of us here at NBC Sports, it has been a delight to present the NBA telecast, and we certainly appreciate your joining us right throughout the season. So once again, for the Chicago Bulls, it's been a case of winning it all.